Welcome to tonight's show, guys. This is a big one. There's a lot of crazy stuff that's happened today. Trump has a huge unexpected win that I believe is going to help him out with the 2024 election. It's really showing in the polls now. More billionaires are actually starting to side with Trump, giving him their endorsements at Madison Square Garden rally, including other people like the famous rapper Nicki Minaj, as well as a huge billionaire, the second richest guy in the world, Jeff Bezos, who has now told his newspaper that he wants more conservative writers. This is huge, y'all. On top of that, this is the putting Trump over the top in states like New York, Virginia, and New Jersey, which are now saying that these could be toss-up states that normally they would go blue, but could potentially actually go red in this election, like with Ronald Reagan. The Democrats are already, guys, what I'm about to tell you is about as crazy as it gets, but the Democrats are already readying lawyers to fight the ballot if Trump wins. We've gotten leaked reports. We're going to show you all the evidence. Wall Street Journal says that Democrats are readying thousands of lawyers to fight the ballots if Trump wins because they don't want to concede the race to Trump if he wins because they want to make sure and challenge the race. They've already reporting that it's literally, we haven't even reached November 5th yet. But Mike Johnson also has come out and unveiled new plans that he and Trump have been working together to unleash a full plan to cut government spending, help Americans, and work with Elon Musk to put more money back into the pockets of Americans. This is huge. This is like prayers answered for so many people. This is coming from the Speaker of the House. On top of that, the RNC is now taking a lawsuit all the way to the Supreme Court, asking them to overturn a ruling from the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that unlawfully is going to allow defective mail-in ballots to be counted. These are mail-in ballots that do not have all the necessary information, but yet they're going to be counted in the Pennsylvania election. This is 100% wrong, and they're taking it all the way to the Supreme Court to fight it. We got a ton of breaking news tonight. Just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, please smash that subscribe button. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button. We're here to serve you. And thank you to everybody that is a member of the channel. And thank you so much to Judy Lynn for already getting One True Life News membership. We appreciate you so much. Appreciate all of our members. The link is in the description to join. And also thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation to the channel. We are truly grateful, and we are going to use that money to give back. We got a lot of breaking news tonight, guys. Thank y'all so much for your support. Let's jump right into it.
Harris are going full throttle with just 8 days left, revving up turnout in a razor-tight race where even the slightest of margins could matter. Both candidates holding mega rallies in unlikely states, Harris taking to bright red Texas for an event that featured Beyonce, and Donald Trump firing up deep blue New York City, bringing his campaign's closing argument to a jam-packed Madison Square Garden.
I'm asking you to be excited about the future of our country again, and I will never apologize for defending America. Kamala Harris has shattered our middle class. She cast the deciding votes that launched the worst inflation in the history of our country. The day I take the oath of office, the migrant invasion of our country ends. Kamala broke it, but I will fix it.
Madison Square Garden was packed. Trump has created a movement. There is no doubt. I cannot think of another Republican figure of my lifetime who could have come into a Democratic city like New York and put together anything like that.
So I think that some pundits and maybe some in the media were getting confused with him coming to New York, to Madison Square Garden, that he was going to flip New York. And maybe some seats are going to help. Maybe he will change it. But this was a homecoming and a chance for a big international experience.
So McDonald's, Rogan, and MSG, that's what you call a strong close. And he's creating these cultural moments that are breaking through that Kamala is capable of doing.
100%.
And the media is terrified because they're not able to control Donald Trump. He's doing this all outside of their control. And now he's got a shot at winning the popular vote.
Yeah.
You look at his latest numbers, he's just a hair shy of 50%. He's never even come close to that before. So if he does win the popular vote, and get in there, he will have a strong governing mandate, if it's this diverse coalition that we expect it to be, that the Democrats are going to have to respect. He's going to force them to respect that mandate. Now, Sunday was a love fest. I know some of the nicest couples who I know were there. I don't know why they're friends with me, but they were there, and they were just enthralled at the enthusiasm. The rage was on TV. The rage was not at the Garden. The rage was on TV because, as like Greg said, they're jealous. They can't control him. They're angry because they've thrown everything at this guy, and the more they throw at him, the grander the coalition gets, the stronger he gets. And demographically, you saw minimum wage workers to billionaires, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, men, women. I saw Jewish flags next to MAGA Muslims. You don't see that at a Kamala Harris event, ever. He's bringing all sorts of people together.
Yes.
And you don't hear a lot of crowd size cracks anymore, do you? Remember a couple weeks ago, Kamala making fun of the crowd size? You don't really see that much anymore. You see a growing movement. She doesn't have a movement. This is a growing common sense movement. I just would hope that people could maybe come along for the ride instead of running against common sense. The names on the roster were insane. You have Musk, Tucker, RFK, Vivek, Tulsi Vance, Dr. Phil, Dana White, Hulk Hogan, and Melania. So if Trump's the star, you got guys that can distribute the basketball, hit threes, rebound. It is a winning team.
You had front row seat. Tell us more.
Yeah, I was there. I was there for 6.5 hours.
Oh, my God.
It started with a national anthem, one of the most beautiful versions of the national anthem I've ever heard.
Mary Billman's great.
Yes, a black opera singer. She's fabulous. The whole event was nothing but energized. The place lit up based upon the people there. Everyone was there. It was a microcosm of the United States. Black, white, young, old, rich, poor, Asian, Hispanic, black. It didn't matter. You saw Israeli flags. There was someone there from the Holocaust who survived the Holocaust. This was so far from what the Democrats want America to believe it to be. And Donald Trump came out and he gave the most optimistic message. He said, I'm positive about the future for America. He said, what I'm interested in making sure that we have tax breaks for caregivers, which I expect Kamala to copy in the very near future.
Literally,
but
she came out with it 2 weeks
something
ago.
it was just like Jonathan Karl said. It was unbelievable that Donald Trump, they were packed to the gills. They were 10 deep going into the Garden in New York City. And no fights, no nothing. It was just joyous. And the amazing part of it is that, when they want to say that this was a Nazi rally, I mean, they insulted everyone at that place. And everyone who was in the Garden was thrilled with the exceptional speakers, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, Jesse, you mentioned who they were, Dana White. I mean, these are incredible, substantial people. But no, the Democrats want to make it something that it really wasn't. But in the end, when you think about it, their version of democracy is picking a woman who's not gotten one vote, but was chosen by a machine to run for president. But we are the fascists. And finally, as it relates to that podcast, the Trump campaign came right out and said that does not reflect our views or the campaign's views. I mean, they did it in record time. They were not happy with it.
I tell you what, it's what we're seeing is huge, y'all. Right here on the board. Thank you so much, David's Daily Global. We appreciate you so much for the super chat. He said, Mag Machine movement is real. Let's go. Y'all show David some love in the chat. Right now, it's gone up. This is 32.1% projected to win the election for Trump. Remember, follow the money. We always follow the money. Same on the swing states. Trump has them all. But this is what I really wanted to show y'all right here. So this is big. The RNC have sent this letter to the to the election council in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is the most important swing state, everybody. But they sent this because right now, voters are consistently reporting to the RNC. They are told that computers are down. the site will be closing early, they are not accepting any more voters, and that mail ballots will not be counted. This is insane. On top of that, the RNC has just filed right here an emergency motion to the Supreme Court asking them to overturn a ruling from the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that unlawfully allows defective mail-in ballots to be counted. This all is happening. We're catching it like never before. The RNC is on point this year like never before because you're about to see why. This is the reason why. If they don't do this, this election, I believe, could be taken away. Thank you so much, Ernestine Corey, for the super chat. Let's go. Hey, y'all show Ernestine some love in the chat. Check this out.
I'm a little concerned about something I've been warning you about. Folks, a lot of good, connected people. Nothing to panic about, but it's definitely something to be concerned about. If we pull this off on election night or the day after, whenever they call it, November 5th, November 6th, I am reasonably convinced November to January is going to be the most chaotic period we've seen in American history. They've got their street thugs ready to go. They're going to do everything they can to stop us from swearing in the Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. It's not going to happen. We are going to swear in. We're going to follow the legal process. But the Democrats are already getting ready to tie this thing up. Wall Street Journal this weekend. Democrats ready thousands of lawyers for final days of the race. Here is their plan. I want you to listen to me. Listen close. Everybody paying attention. It's super important.
Y'all see
Their
this?
plan is to never concede no matter what. That's why.
I'm sorry to interrupt everybody, but this is about as crazy as it gets. This is coming from the Wall Street Journal. Are readying thousands of lawyers for final days of race. Harris campaign's legal teams meld law firms partners with local specialists steeped in their state's terrains. Why? For what? What are you going to try to stop? This right here just shows you what they're planning to do.
You've got to make this thing a rout. Folks, you've got to pressure them to concede. I was talking to a Republican you all know, very popular guy this weekend, called me on Saturday. He knows who he is, good dude. And we were talking about how when this thing, if we can make it mathematically impossible for them to win, in other words, Trump's ahead by, 10,000 votes, and there's only 2,000 outstanding to count, we should count every vote. But at that point, every vote doesn't matter. It matters for you voting, but it doesn't matter the outcome. If we're up 10,000 and there's only 2,000 votes left, even if Harris won every one, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We've got to make it a math problem for them. Because their plan now is if it's even remotely close and she's down a couple points and it looks impossible, they are not going to concede and are going to sue.
Y'all
and we've
see
got
that?
to make this a mathematical, laughable possibility that these guys are still holding out, kind of like we did with Stacey Abrams. We have to. Look at these numbers, man. Here's Eric Daughtry, an account I've really been enjoying, Eric L. Daw, D-A-U-G-H. Good follow for election numbers. He's being sarcastic here. He says, well, folks, it was fun while it lasted in Florida. The in-person Democrat surge finally came, sadly. He's being sarcastic. The in-person early voting margin for Republicans plummeted, he notes. Yesterday it was R plus 27. Now it's R plus 26.5. Folks.
I'm telling you guys,
Justin,
this
you're
is
of South
big.
Florida resident. Miami-Dade, pretty blue, right? Yes, usually is right. Usually not unless Donald Trump's on the ballot or DeSantis' second term. Miami-Dade Republicans are kicking voting. Folks, it's not just Miami-Dade. Look at Nevada. Nevada, a state that's gone blue for a long time. Look at this. This is just from the other day. Republicans are up 30,944. More. Put that Giphy in the chat. More. Pile it on. Pile it on. Make them panic on election day. Make them panic and get sloppy, because I'm telling you, if they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat anyway. You better make it sloppy so that we can figure it out. Don't make it close. Make it impossible. Make it impossible. Make it a mathematical impossibility. Now, back to my point. They are not going to concede, folks. They are not going to concede, and every freaking Democrat lawyer in the country is going to sue over every vote. If you make it a mathematical
guys? I'm telling
impossibility,
you.
2,000 outstanding votes were up by 10. this thing becomes a fait accompli. It doesn't matter at that point. This is what we have to do. Swamp it early and in person. I don't care what anybody's telling you. Whoever's telling you otherwise is lying. Donald Trump at the Madison Square Garden rally on the screen up top in the center above the court. What did it say? You see, it said vote early. You think he's crazy? Get out there.
No,
because they're going to go nuts. I want you to watch this segment here. Here's Megyn Kelly, very smart. Megyn Kelly, I've known Megyn a long time, always been very nice. She's on Bill Maher's show. Bill Maher here loses it. Well, I wasn't losing, I won't be dramatic, but is quite upset. I'll leave it at that. Bill Maher is quite upset when Megyn Kelly tells you exactly what I've been telling you. They're not going to concede this thing, and they are going to be the new election deniers, air quotes. Bill Maher doesn't like this because he knows it's true. Check this out.
Well, don't think there won't be denialism if Kamala Harris loses, too.
It won't be the same.
Okay, but there's going to be. I mean, they're already laying the foundation for lawfare. We're going to be stuck in this election one way or the other, no matter who wins, for weeks.
Well, there's no evidence of that. Democrats have never done that. They've conceded.
We already had this fight on my show. Hillary Clinton is the original election denier. Stacey Abrams. Yes, she is.
It's this different. Come on, man.
Right.
It's different between grumbling. Yes, they grumble and they shouldn't, and maybe it goes over the. It's different between grumbling about something and actually trying to overturn it, like he did. I mean, you know this. Why do we have to go through this?
That's fine. You're allowed to file legal challenges in response to an election, which is what Trump did, and he lost, and he did wind up leaving office. I'm not going to defend his behavior on January 6th. I never have, and I'm not going to start tonight. But if you don't think there's going to be denialism on the Dem side, you haven't been paying attention to what's been happening on that side for these years.
You know, I think I've been reasonably fair to Bill Maher. I'm not going to listen to any otherwise, because if you're going to say otherwise, you don't listen to my show. I think I've been pretty fair to him. What he just said there, Bill, let me talk to you direct. I've never been on your show, don't know you, we're not friends, whatever. Nothing personal. You know, sometimes he can give an honest assessment. What you just said there is absolute bullshit. You should be embarrassed. The Democrats were just grumbling while Trump, took some, extra legal action? Is that what you're insinuating? One, he did nothing of the sort. Who's in the White House right now? Despite the fact that almost every credible Republican thinks he lost. Joe Biden. Trump walked out of the White House like every other president who lost, whatever, even if you believe that to be true. What are you talking? He filed legal cases, and that was the end of it. That's what happened, did it not? He tried to overturn it. Oh, the Democrats didn't. So you're suggesting to me that the FBI, through Hillary Clinton, Jim Comey, and the intelligence communities through Brennan and Clapper, that spied on Donald Trump, colluded with foreign entities to hijack our justice system, to prosecute their political enemies, that Trump did something worse than that? I mean, is that a joke? Are you shitty? That Stacey Abrams, who still has not admitted that that's a lawful result to her governor's election loss, that somehow was just empty words? That stuff matters, dude. Hillary Clinton still insisting the Russians and some troll farm stole the election from her? Man, I'm sorry, man, but you're full of shit. That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. The entire justice system was hijacked to steal Trump's presidency away, and you're sitting there pretending like it was just talk?
And that's true. Ever since Trump got into office, from day one, Russia collusion, this, that. I'm telling you, I want to show you this because a lot of people actually haven't seen this video, but this is one of the big things. Elon Musk actually just posted this. Remember how they said that Trump said that there was fine people on both sides when it came to the Nazis and the white supremacists? Look, let's watch the actual video because now this video is actually going viral again, coming from Elon Musk to his 100+ million followers of the truth. Check this out.
And you had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists.
Right there.
Because they should be condemned totally.
Right
but you
there.
had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay?
See, that's the truth. But those trash media has taken this and said that he said that everybody was fine people. No, he clearly points out there were fine people on both sides, except it wasn't those neo-Nazis, it wasn't those white supremacists. Those people aren't included because that's wrong. He literally said it. But I'm telling you, this is why I love doing this, because I love bringing the truth to people. I love being able to show you what actually happened. Also, too, what's about to happen with Mike Johnson, the speaker. Check this out.
Hello, Madison Square Garden. Is New York ready to make America great again? My friends, I came here tonight so excited to be with you. I came off of the field to give you a very important field report. Now, I've been traveling all around the country, nonstop. We've been to the red states and the blue states. We've been to the safe districts and the swing districts. We've been all around America. And I'm going to tell you what's happening right now. I'm here to report something. There's something very powerful happening out there among the base, okay? I'm telling you, there's an energy out there that we have not seen before. And I am convinced that in 9 days, we're going to grow the House majority. We're going to take back the Senate and send Donald Trump back to the White House.
Let's go. Boom.
Let me tell you why that is. Because everywhere around the country, no matter where you live, everybody is fed up and they are fired up. They're fed up. It doesn't matter what demographic they're in. It doesn't matter what walk of life. They know that we cannot afford 4 more years of Kamala Harris in the White House. And we can't possibly afford turning the House or the Senate over to the Democrats.
Ain't that
Let me
the
ask
truth?
you a question. Let me ask you what I ask these groups all around the country. Do you want 4 more years of open borders? I don't think you do. No. You want 4 more years of high cost and inflation? You want 4 more years of rising crime in every community? No. Or how about 4 more years of woke ideology in our schools and our military? You want 4 more years of wars and weakness on the world stage? Nobody does. American voters are sick of it, and they want to change. Now listen, for the last 2 years, we've had a bit of a dilemma, right? The House has been the only firewall in Washington standing between Chuck Schumer and the Democrats in the Senate, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, and the American people. Now, we played defense. We blocked their woke America Last agenda, and we passed solutions to all the great challenges facing the country. But here's the problem. They got stopped in the Senate. We also had the smallest Republican majority in U.S. history. But you know what the good news is? We're about to grow that majority. That's what's going to happen on November 5th. New York is going to make that happen. You're going to elect your incumbents here and our challengers, and you're going to make the big difference. And we need a Republican Senate so we can retire Chuck Schumer for good. And America needs, and everybody knows, no matter where we are in the country, we know we have to get Donald J. Trump back to the White House so we can get this thing fixed. When we do that, we're going to secure the border once for all. We're going to unleash American energy dominance again. We're going to lower the cost of living. We're going to support our allies and stand up to our adversaries. We're going to defend our rights and our freedoms and the troops and the veterans who fought for them. And we will protect the values and the principles that made America the greatest nation in the history of the world. I'll just leave you with this thought. We're not in a battle this time just between 2 different political parties. It's much deeper than that. There's something much more fundamental going on. We're in a battle between 2 completely different visions for who we are as a nation and who we're going to be. We revere the founding principles. We revere our Judeo-Christian foundations. We revere individual freedom and limited government and the rule of law and peace through strength and fiscal responsibility, free markets, human dignity, secure borders. But the other team doesn't anymore, my friends. This is not your father's Democratic Party. They are now full on to Marxism and socialism. They don't envision for us to save the founding principles and the greatest nation in the history of the world. Instead, what they envision for us is that we would be some sort of European-style Marxist borderless utopia. We all know that's a dangerous fool's errand.
Ain't that the truth?
You know what's going to happen in 9 days? The American people are going to let their voices be heard. We are going to take this country back. We're going to restore the foundations, and we are truly going to make America great again. Thank you so much. God bless you.
I love it, guys. Everybody's on board. The dream team is coming through. But this just broke, guys. Literally 3 minutes ago, this just broke. I told you, something's going to happen before the election. Somebody's trying to rig it. Check this out. Breaking. Election officials in York County. Remember, we showed you something a couple of days from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. This is now in York County, Pennsylvania. Are reporting that they have also received thousands of potentially fraudulent voter registration forms and mail-in ballot applications from a third-party group. This stuff is freaking real, and we didn't have this last time, guys. You didn't have Twitter. Last time when Twitter, it was actually called Twitter instead of X, they didn't allow this stuff. They would literally take it down. They would literally put it as disinformation. Now you're getting to actually see the truth of what's going on in this election.
York County's Office of Elections recently received a large delivery containing thousands of voter registration forms and mail-in ballot applications from a third-party group.
It's not unusual to get large stacks of voter registrations or large stacks of requests for mail-in ballots. It's just this was an overabundance of registrations from one particular organization.
This comes after Lancaster County officials announced they are investigating approximately 2,500 voter registration forms for potential fraud. The batch of applications, which had false names, incorrect addresses, and other discrepancies, is being traced back to a large-scale canvassing operation. York County.
Y'all see this? So they've been working on this for a long time. They've seen the writing on the wall that Donald Trump was winning in the polls. Donald Trump was winning against Joe Biden, and now he's winning against Kamala Harris, and that's why they've been doing this. And thank God the RNC is fighting like never before to reveal where people are trying to steal the election. Check this out.
Nate Silver has Trump now with a 55% chance of winning the election. Harris is now down to 44.6%. I want to be clear, this is still anyone's race, but if the Trump momentum holds and he wins the presidency a week from tomorrow, there are 4 events that I believe will be remembered as pivotal. First, the VP debate, where Vance trounced Walz.
You yourself just said Iran is as close to a nuclear weapon today as they have ever been. And Governor Walz, you blame Donald Trump. Who has been the vice president for the last 3.5 years? And the answer is your running mate, not mine.
Second, Trump's return to Butler.
A very big thank you to Pennsylvania. We love Pennsylvania. And as I was saying...
Third, Trump working at McDonald's.
Keep it tight. We got the salt on it. Never touches the human hand. It's going to be the best yet. I made it myself. I have worked at McDonald's. I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala. It requires great expertise, actually.
And fourth, the capper, the packed show at Madison Square Garden.
For the past 9 years, we have been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. With your vote in this election, you can show them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. It belongs to you.
Well, I was there, and the message was hopeful, optimistic, and Reagan-esque. Thousands and thousands waited in line for 12 hours to get in. The crowd was patriotic. It was happy. Diverse, young, old, independents, Republicans, of course, different races and ethnicities. They shared a faith that Donald Trump can deliver on bringing a new golden age to the country they all love.
We will have the strongest economy, the most secure borders, the safest cities, the most powerful military. the best trade deals, and we will dominate the frontiers of science, medicine, business, technology, and space. And I'm asking you to be excited about the future of our country again. I'm asking you to dream big again. This will be America's new golden age.
I love that line, the new golden age. Yes, we need that in America. Now, I've been covering these types of rallies since 2015, and the coalition has grown. The people that the MAGA movement gained along the way, these are significant people, and it tells us a lot about why this matters, why it's working. RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and countless regular folks who've given Trump's pragmatic populism another look. Because they all came to see what we've known for years, that the old Washington establishment has failed us in every way. It's failed us at home, it's failed us abroad, in politics, and the culture. But voters are recognizing that just because they failed, it doesn't mean America has to fail, because America can be renewed. We're for everyone if you're an American.
We're building the biggest, broadest, most diverse coalition in American history, including union workers and Border Patrol agents. We're seeing historic levels of support among our Black population, Hispanic population, and our Asian population. Jews and Muslims and Catholics and evangelicals and Mormons, and they're all joining our cause in large numbers, larger than anyone has ever seen in this country before. And the Republican Party has really become the party of inclusion.
The party of inclusion.
Let's go.
Take their language, recapture it as your own, because that's the truth. They're exclusionary, they're intolerant. We want everyone to be better, stronger, more prosperous, and safer. It doesn't matter where you came from, doesn't matter what, color your skin is. That's what we believe. So the atmosphere in that arena was electric. It was on fire, and it was overwhelmingly optimistic.
Big
I kept
time.
thinking,
Big Dog DFW, thank you so much for that amazing super chat. Y'all show Big Dog some love. He said, sorry, buddy, still out of town. I'm trying to check in as much as possible. Go, Trump. Keep going, young brother. I'm watching it at night, trying to keep up. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for supporting my boy Joel. This is a great channel. He's bringing it to keep supporting my brother. Let's go, y'all. Man, this is awesome. Wonderful, wonderful. Y'all show Big Dog some love.
as I was watching, what other politician in America could gather such a crowd?
Madison Square Garden was packed. People waited hours to get in. They sat through hour after hour of this rally. They were fervent in their devotion to all things Trump. Trump has created a movement. There is no doubt. I cannot think of another Republican figure of my lifetime who could have come into a Democratic city like New York and put together anything like that.
And I'll tell you this, I'm being very honest. Like, trust me, don't get me wrong. I love Trump. Trump's great. And I think that he's the leader to help us lead into the next generation for the United States. But I believe also, too, what's really going to help us win is that he's brought together a team. This team is not just Republican. It's Democrats. It's RFK. It's Tulsi Gabbard. It's Elon Musk. It's Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, J.D. Vance. The dream team is insane. Listen to this.
I'm not voting for Donald Trump. I'm voting for Donald Trump and Bobby Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard and Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk and J.D. Vance and everyone else that they're going to bring in this team, this Avengers, this Voltron, whatever you want to call it. And they're going to get in there and actually do what Donald Trump said he was going to do the first time, which is drain the swamp. And he has admitted that he couldn't do it and he didn't do it because he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't even think he was going to win the first time. And he had no time for his transition team. And then he was loaded with a bunch of sycophants and horrible people that were the swamp monsters that Bobby Kennedy has very accurately pointed out. And so now they're privately funding. I love this, that Trump is privately funding his own transition team, not waiting for the government. So they are ready to go and they are not compromised. That is the government that I want. That is something. Bobby is 100%. He and Tulsi are going to be let loose to be the bulldogs that we need to hold people to account.
Yes.
And by the way, they will do it fairly. They will do it civilly. They will do it in love. I've sat with both of them. They are incredibly wonderful human people that really want, and which is what.
And that's it. Like, a lot of people are now saying that more than ever before. And even when you've got people just across the board that are now saying, you know what? It's not just MAGA anymore. Like, it's everybody.
And anybody.
And when you hear them speak, especially like somebody like Vivek, listen to this: respectful. JD Vance, respectful. Whenever they're on these other networks. Check this out.
The challenge I would give you, and to anybody who shares your view, is explain why voter ID laws are controversial. Why is it racist to have a voter ID law? And the fact that people are using racist allegations against the simple premise of having a driver's license to vote is what is breeding public mistrust in our elections.
Michelle
and I'll make
Obama,
a pledge to everybody in this country, Republican or Democrat. If we get to voter ID laws that match the voter file and have single-day voting on Election Day as a national holiday, I'm done, and anybody else in the Republican Party should be done as well, and the Democratic Party too, in complaining about election integrity. Do it the way Puerto Rico does it, and if they do it in Puerto Rico, we can do it in the rest of the United States, and turn this page so that we're not talking about this issue. But the fact that voter ID laws are themselves controversial with the left reveals that there is a real issue here, that if a voter ID law is deemed racist and you're not even allowed to talk about advocating for that without undergoing this kind of grilling, that reveals a real issue and loss of public trust that I do believe we need to fix to unite this country. That's my hope, and I do think a solid victory, which we are not debating on November 6th, for either candidate, I hope it's Donald Trump, is something that will unite this country, and that's what I'm rooting for.
Well, I think it's because the consequence that I certainly hope from your perspective is inadvertent, is that it discourages some people who have the right to vote from voting in numbers that far eclipse what you're talking about solving with this non-existent problem. But
I respectfully
Vivek
disagree with
Ramaswamy,
that, just as it doesn't deter them from driving. But I think that that's a reasonable discussion for us to have in good faith, rather than dismissing voter ID laws as racist. At least that's a constructive step in the debate.
I don't know. I didn't say it was racist. So I understand. Maybe you're having a conversation with someone else about this, but it's not me.
In Georgia, countless leftists have,
Vivek Ramaswamy.
I'm telling you guys, the tides are turning, because remember, they've been for a long time saying that it was racist to have voter ID. Now they're saying it just keeps people from voting. Well, and then Vivek's like, doesn't keep them from driving. It's all a big lie, because guess what? They tightened the voter laws in Georgia, and they've had record numbers of voters coming out. It's all been a lie. We need voter ID. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because the Democrats are bringing out their big guns, but I'm telling you, it's not working. Check this out.
Michelle Obama isn't always proud of her country, but when she is, it means she's about to win.
People in this country are ready for change and hungry for a different kind of politics. And let me tell you something, for the first time in my adult life, I am proud of my country, because it feels like hope is finally making a comeback.
But now that her husband's retired and it's Kamala's turn, she's not proud of her country anymore.
Why on earth is this race even close? Awake at night wondering what in the world is going on. And it's clear to me that the question isn't whether Kamala is ready for this moment, because by every measure, she has demonstrated that she's ready. The real question is, as a country, are we ready for this moment?
No one's ready. We're not, because she's not. But let's play this game. By what measure has Kamala demonstrated that she's ready for this moment? Just give me one. She's never won a single vote, and she's run for president twice. What'd she do as senator? Take all the time you need. What'd she do as VP? Just give me one accomplishment.
I can't think of anything.
Michelle Obama says Americans aren't ready for Kamala because she's a black woman. Well, how does that make sense if the country was ready for Michelle Obama? Remember in Chicago, they said if Michelle ran, the White House was hers? Same with Oprah. But Michelle says it's not a black woman thing, it's a man thing.
See anyone out there thinking about sitting out this election or voting for Donald Trump or a third-party candidate in protest because you're fed up? Let me warn you, your rage does not exist in a vacuum. If we don't get this election right, your wife, your daughter, your mother, we as women will become collateral damage to your rage. So are you as men prepared to look into the eyes of the women and children you love and tell them that you supported this assault on our safety?
Michelle is saying men who vote Trump don't give a blank about the women in their lives. First, they called us toxic, then racist, and now they say if we vote Trump, it's the same thing as murdering our mother.
Wow.
Now, my mom and I don't see eye to eye on politics, but I'd like to keep her around. Getting scolded by Barack was one thing, but he's always been the soft dad. You don't want to get Michelle mad. When she gets home, look out. And I look at myself in the mirror every day. I'm not mad. I look at Michelle. She's mad.
Yeah, she is.
All their people are going nuts.
I just want to start. It makes me so angry. That we're here talking about a piece of like Donald Trump.
And then there's Whoopi, who says Donald Trump's going to break up interracial marriages, deport the minority, and then let the white guy stay and remarry.
Talking about you, it's us. He's not going to say, oh, you're with a white guy, I'm going to keep you from being deported. No, he's going to deport you and put the white guy with someone else. The man is out there.
Are you serious?
It's getting so crazy. Kids are getting screamed at outside of Kamala rallies. Watch this.
Oh, man. Watch this.
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you, right there was uncalled for just because she's for Kamala and he's for Trump. To a child. That right there is unexcusable.
I know. Like, this is why they're angry, because Kamala's cratering at the worst possible time. And the campaign feels like it's being haunted by the ghost of Joe Biden.
I know who was standing next to me the last 4 years. Kamala Harris.
Oh.
Let me tell you something, folks. I picked her because she has a backbone like a ramrod. She doesn't bet. I'm serious. She has a backbone like a ramrod.
Guys, he's serious, y'all.
Kamala's trying to make Americans forget she was Joe Biden's vice president, and Biden keeps escaping the White House and reminding everybody. From Axios, Harris has been trying to stiff-arm Biden in the final stretch. Biden's been begging the campaign for her. And according to 3 sources, the Harris campaign keeps responding, we'll get back to you. People close to the situation describe it as a slow-moving breakup. Biden's the ex who can't take a hint. Here he was today.
Well, I've done a lot of sorting stuff. And the fact of the matter is that I've also had to be president at the same time. So I've been in all the battleground states. I've been campaigning. But I also have to continue my job as president. I've been on the trail. We talk all the time, and they're asking me where they think I should be to help them most. I'm going to be in Pennsylvania, going to head to Scranton and a few other places.
Kamala's only letting him go to Scranton. A few other places, probably not. Tension is heating up so much that the Harris campaign is now leaking that they have an enemies list. And everyone in the Biden White House is on it. They tell Axios that they know Biden world's been privately trash-talking and knifing Harris behind her back. And if she wins, Harris is ready to tell some of Biden's closest advisors, you're fired. Biden world is already furiously scrambling, looking for new jobs or even sucking up to Harris just to win her over. That brown pantsuit looks lovely on you, Madam Vice President. And while Harris and Biden are fighting amongst themselves, so's the media. The press is having a nervous breakdown because their favorite newspapers refuse to endorse Kamala. This is big for people inside the Beltway. The rest of the country, no one cares. And none of their October surprises are working. The media can't control the narrative, especially after they spent 4 years lying about Biden's brain. Their credibility's shot. As the Wall Street Journal puts it, Americans don't like being condescended to by a media that denies everyday realities. They can't pivot from Biden's Iron Man to Trump's a fascist and think anyone's buying that. Barack and Michelle, they think they know better. Rich celebrities are getting dragged out of their mansions to stand on stage with Kamala like a hostage video. You turn on the TV at 6 a.m. and they're talking about Hitler. Good morning, here's the weather, here's the traffic, and you're a Nazi. With 8 days to go, Democrats are trying to recapture the fake energy they manufactured in August. They're pulling out every stop because Kamala can't do it on her own.
Scripture reminds us, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning.
All right, she's a preacher now, everybody.
The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning. And
no, that's just too
morning
much.
is on its way.
Americans are like, you know what? We know enough about Kamala now. We're good. And anyone with real talent gets on stage and doesn't perform. It's like they're blinking help in Morse code. Eminem and Beyonce just read from a script. That's like Seinfeld endorsing you when he gets on stage and doesn't tell a joke. Michelle says you have to lower your standards.
So I hope you'll forgive me if I'm a little frustrated that some of us are choosing to ignore Donald Trump's gross incompetence while asking Kamala to dazzle us at every turn.
We don't expect Kamala to dazzle us. We expect her not to befuddle us. We expect her to be honest and get to the point. We know she has no charisma. We know she's a politician, but we'd like an answer to a direct question once in a while.
He called you, Madam Vice President, a very low IQ person and said, I think she needs to take a cognitive test. I think Kamala should have a test because there's something missing, there's something wrong with her. Would you take a cognitive test?
Sure. I would challenge him to take the same one.
No, he already took one. You made him take one when he was president. Remember? Person, woman, man, camera, TV. And then you refused to make Biden take one. That's why she's the nominee. Michelle feels sorry for Kamala because she's getting picked apart. Well, what do you expect? She's running to be the president of the United States. This is a real job this time. It's not like being VP where you could just disappear for 2 weeks and the country wouldn't notice. The problem is they've set the bar for her so low, the fact that she's not living up to it makes it even more painful. Bill Clinton has a better idea. With 8 days to go, the campaign should just try something new. Now, in '92, Bill Clinton famously said, Republicans care more about my past than your future. It's a good line.
Wow, that is a good
Today,
line.
he says, quote, I think people are basically sick of all this paralyzing bad-mouthing. I think that what she ought to do is to pick the things that she cares about the most and that she believes in and then go beyond what's been done. Translation, stop constantly bad-mouthing Trump and focus on the future.
The
Kamala's
truth.
super PAC is saying, guys, calling Trump a fascist isn't working. We got to start talking about our economic agenda for the people. The truth is all of these attacks only make Trump stronger and forge a bond that can't be broken with the public.
You've said that Trump has a special connection with the people of
100%.
Pennsylvania. Why? What is it that you see that he appeals to in your state?
There's a difference between not understanding, but also acknowledging that it exists. And anybody spends time driving around and you can see the intensity. It's astonishing. I was doing an event in Indiana County, very, very red, and there was a superstore of Trump stuff, and it was 100 feet long, and it was dozens of T-shirts and hats and bumper stickers and all kinds. I mean, it's like, where does this all come from? I mean, it was almost like Taylor Swift kind of swag. It's like something very special exists there, and that doesn't mean that I admire it. It's just like it's real.
American men don't feel rage. We feel regret. This country made a mistake voting for Biden last time. Didn't work out. By voting Trump back in office, we're saying, my bad, won't happen again. That's accountability. That's what real men do.
Yes.
Kellyanne Conway is a former
And guys, I'm telling you this. People are also, I think, again, remember, what's the number one? Number one is the economy. Number two is immigration. I'm going to show you a chart. This is the facts. Remember, we want to bring the receipts like Dan Bongino says. This right here is a chart that shows where welfare, the money of where welfare goes in the United States. You have U.S.-born legal immigrant households and illegal-headed households, okay? Check it out. 39% of all our welfare funds goes to native-born. You're born U.S. citizen. 52% over here, legal immigrant, and then ultimately 59% illegal immigrants. When you look at this chart right here, the two biggest are each legal immigrants. Either an immigrant, you're either legal or you're an illegal. And look at that, 52-59, 23-18, 48-34 for food, cash, welfare, Medicaid. Look at this. This is nuts. 39-36-25. You can't make this stuff up. This is what people are fed up about. This is why, again, we have another guy who's really doing a lot of stuff within the Congress to help get us back on track. Check this out.
Mr. Chairman, you're going to my home state for a field congressional hearing. It seems to me it's on the issue of immigration. It seems to me that immigration has several components. We have the border. We have the fact that 2,000 are now reported to be on their way here. They want to beat the election. Actually, probably inauguration is what they should be thinking about, not the election. There are gang members that have been identified who are from Venezuela here in the United States. And then we've got the people who are illegally here in the country. So what are you going to do about this?
Well, the main thing is we got to win the election, because then we got a chance to pass H.R. 2, the bill we passed a year and a half ago, sitting somewhere in the Senate. Chuck Schumer won't bring it up. That would have actually secured the border, dealt with the catch and release policy, dealt with the asylum rules, all the things that we need to deal with in our immigration law. But remember, this is just a willful decision by the Biden-Harris administration. Day one, they decided we're no longer going to build a wall. We're no longer going to have remain in Mexico. And when you get here, you will not be detained. You will be released. And that's why everyone came. And who could fault people for wanting to come to the greatest country ever? But when you put in those three policies, people come, and we're on pace to get to 12. We know 10 million. We're on pace to get to 12 million when this administration is finished. That's equivalent to the entire population of Ohio. And when you do that, bad people come along too, and we're going to hear from, we've had hearings like this already, but we're going to hear from sheriffs, law enforcement people, what happens to crime. We're going to hear from families who've been impacted by criminal elements who've come across our border illegally. That's what this is all about. And the only way we solve this, though, is on November 5th, putting President Trump back in the White House and Republicans in control of the Congress.
You know what's been actually borderline insane is that the Biden administration says that we have people checking at the border to see, we vet them at the border. But the data we get to vet the people coming in is from the country of origin. We don't have diplomatic relations with Iran. We don't have diplomatic relations with Venezuela. I mean, those countries are not giving us data to vet. I mean, I guess we can check all the people from the UK who might try to get in. But I mean, the whole insanity, the insanity that we are truly vetting anybody to come in, even those who are stopped. We're not vetting anybody.
Yeah, and that's why 98 people who were on the terrorist watch list got through, because we don't have the right kind of vetting thing in place. And when you have that volume, that amount of people, bad things are just bound to happen. And we have seen it, whether it's the gang activity we saw in Aurora, Colorado, whether it's these bad guys, terrible guys who did terrible things, Laken Riley's family, on and on it goes. So this is what happens when you have an administration who says we are not going to secure the border and gets rid of the very policies, again, willfully, deliberately, in a premeditated way. On day one, they changed those policies, and it's led to this influx. And the only way you turn it around is put another guy in the Oval Office, which I think is going to happen.
You know, it's perplexing to me, Secretary of Homeland Security Mayorkas. Every time he testifies, I watch to try to understand, what his thinking is, and even with Vice President Harris, when she answers things on the campaign, is that, maybe there is some sort of legitimate reason or some, but no. I never feel like we get an actual answer so we can weigh whether we agree with it or not.
No, they filibuster, they talk around it. We have to press them for. I still remember when I asked Mayorkas, this is a couple years ago, what is the status? And then it was a handful of people who were on the terrorist watch list. What is their status? We know you've encountered them. Where are they detained? Where are they at? And he said, I'll have to get back with you. He didn't know. I mean, you're the Secretary of Homeland Security, and you're testifying in front of Congress, the Judiciary Committee, the Committee of Jurisdiction over your agency, and you can't answer the status of people on the terrorist watch list. So it is frustrating when this guy testifies. The good news is I don't think he's going to be Secretary of Homeland Security much longer, because I think President Trump is going to be the new commander-in-chief.
And this is the worst part about it, guys. I just hate it because these are not people that were elected. These were people that were assigned. Remember, a lot of people don't know this. Whenever a president gets into office, they have the job to essentially hire 10,000 people. Now, they pick a lot of high-level people. Those people pick people below them. People right there pick people below them. But it's essentially 10,000 hires. And when you look at the Biden administration, there's no reason other than they wanted illegals to come in to try to convert them to Democratic voters. They shipped them in an overwhelming majority to what? To swing states, to red states. It's all intentional. They cannot win with policy. They cannot win the right way. They're trying to win through bringing immigrants in. But just want to say, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button. And remember, if you want to join the community, the link is in the description to join. And just want to say thank you so much. Judy, Lynn, Loving Spirit, you are so amazing. So happy you see help others in need, especially Isaiah 117. Thank you, Joel. And thank you so much to Deanna Rankin. Y'all show them some love in the chat. Guys, this has been an amazing, I love the news that is coming out. Positive for America. America first. Right back there. David's Daily Global. Thank you so much for the super chat. Ernestine Corey. Thank you, Linda at Jump. And thank you to Big Dog DFW. Guys, y'all are so amazing. I am so grateful to be doing this. And you don't know how thankful me and my family are. We want to spread the truth. We want to serve you all with the top news. And we work really hard to bring this every single day, twice a day, Monday through Friday, and one on Friday and Saturday to y'all, because we believe that right now there's so much crazy noise lying out there. People need to see the facts, they need to see the data, and they need to see the news. And that's why we're doing this. We love y'all so much. Thank you for your support, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.